Hello and welcome to the ID Talk podcast. My name is Peter Counter. I am the editor-in-chief of FindBiometrics, and we are reporting live from Las Vegas this week, where the biometrics and identity industry has converged on ISC West, the world's premier security conference. The crowds are back at ISC West this year, and so is our own Doug OGorden, who is busy tracking down the leaders in identity and biometrics on the show floor. And that's why, on this special episode of ID Talk, he catches up with Willem Ryan, Vice President of Marketing and Communications for AlertEnterprise. After highlighting AlertEnterprise's mission to bring together our virtual and physical identities, Ryan digs into his company's recent partnership with BioConnect and outlines the benefits of policy-based access control. There are some very important topics discussed in this episode, so let's get right to it. Here is FindBiometrics' Doug OGorden with AlertEnterprise's Willem Ryan, live from ISC West.
Hi, FindBiometrics listeners. Doug OGorden here. I'm with Willem Ryan. He's the VP Global Marketing at AlertEnterprise. How are you?
I'm great, Doug. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's a really great show.
It is.
There's lots of people here, and it's very exciting to be here.
Absolutely. It is. It's been a long time, and it's amazing to be back in front of people, being able to look people in the eye, shake hands. It feels really good. Really good. It feels like the security industry is back on track.
It's like a homecoming.
Exactly like that.
And when I saw that over by the Starbucks when you walk in, there was just a sea of people walking towards the front entrance. It was really neat to see this morning. All right, so you're here, we're here. What is AlertEnterprise showcasing at ISC West?
Yeah, it's, again, great to be back. And sorry.
That's all right. We're going. No, that's cool.
Great to be back.
Yep.
Alert this year, 2 years removed from the pandemic, we've been hard at work innovating a lot of different products. One of the biggest components of what we've been doing over the last couple of years is we've put everything to the cloud, right? I mean, it's cloud everything, cloud all the time. And so our whole platform is in the cloud. And so for people who don't know what we do, we are a cyber physical identity, access, and security platform. So we merge both cyber and physical identities together because that's the way the world is moving. Everything's becoming digital. But yet we still have to go in and out of physical spaces. So that's what we help people manage, to automate that, to secure that. And we're kind of giving that unified look at security that people are really looking for now. All the biggest companies in the world are saying, hey, why are we managing security in two different teams where we have cyber, we have physical, yet they're not unified missions? And so that's what we help people do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Physical and logical. Convergence.
All of that.
It's happening.
It's happening. And, identity and access are at the core of that. So that's what.
Who are you?
That's right. Who are you? Where are you going? And should you be allowed in? That's what it's about.
Keeping the good guys in and the bad guys out.
Well, that's right. And it's not even just about good and bad. Sometimes now we're living in a world of hybrid work, right? And the idea is maybe I'm a good guy, but I'm only supposed to be there 3 times a week. So I should be there at the right time, the right place, and only in those times. And so we're moving in a world where it's not just about keeping the bad guys out, but also letting the right people in at the right time. And so we focus a lot on that.
You recently partnered with BioConnect to release a new policy-based physical security solution. What are the benefits of policy-based access control, and why should organizations be looking to integrate biometrics into their security?
Yeah, it's, first of all, great partnership. We're so happy to partner with BioConnect, who is really a leader of multi-factor authentication. And that's what it really comes down to. I mentioned earlier about hybrid work. That's one scenario that's pushing and driving a lot of why policy-based access control is important. But let's take a step back. In the cyber world, zero trust is a term that you hear a lot. And the zero trust approach is that I trust no one, but I validate everyone. In physical security, especially access control, we've had this approach where if you have a card, a badge, you can get in. You're not validated, you're not authorized, other than the fact that you hold a card, right? And so that's definitely not a zero trust approach. And so the move to a more hybrid environment, the move to a more digital transformation of access, we need a zero trust approach, which means I need to validate who you are. I need to validate the fact that you're supposed to be here. So BioConnect, they do that. They validate through multi-factor authentication, and then we provide the authorization. So perhaps you have policies around training, certification, vaccination, any of the policies that are important to a company. We can do that in real time at the door. So you might have a biometric scanner that says you should be there, it authenticates who you are, and then at that moment, the policy is then applied to say, Doug, you can come in. Or Doug, you can't come in, this is outside of your shift hours, or Doug, you need to be vaccinated or trained or certified, whatever that policy may be. So it's the combination of that validation and authentication with the authorization that's really powerful, and that's what policy-based is. And I think really that's where access control and biometrics is going to go.
Neat. Every year we do a research study. We're on our 19th year this year. Next year is a big one. It's 20. So we're already thinking about the research and looking at what happened this past year. What do you foresee happening in biometrics, and what's the trend that's happening? What's your crystal ball in the security space about the future of biometrics?
Oh, yeah, great question. I think where we're headed is the idea of credentialing and the evolution and innovation of credentialing just is tremendous, and it's outpaced a lot of other things around access. So I think that's going to continue. There's just going to be further levels of innovation around biometrics that allow us to authenticate and validate individuals. So identity is not going to change in terms of its importance around security, and so biometrics is going to play a huge role in that. And there's just going to be, I think, new options for that across the board. But as we've noted, combining that with the ability to authorize and to be able to do that dynamically is going to be huge. And the cloud now allows us to be way more flexible, way more scalable. So the combination of biometrics and cloud and policy-based, I think is going to be exciting.
Awesome. Well, I've known you for 20 years from walking the shows,
Yes.
and finally I'm interviewing you. So it was really nice to meet you.
It's been a pleasure.
Likewise. Have a great show.
All right, you too.
Thanks.
And so concludes our interview with Willem Ryan, Vice President of Marketing and Communications for Alert Enterprise. To learn more about the topics discussed in this episode, visit AlertEnterprise.com. And for more identity and biometrics industry coverage straight from ISC West, stay posted to FindBiometrics.com. I'd like to thank Willem for joining us on the podcast, and thank you to Doug OGorden for conducting the interview. Our podcast theme music is by Logomrad. I have been your host, Peter Counter. Thank you for listening to the ID Talk podcast.